Now that we're approaching an hour of this, we're going to take a brief break and I'm going to let the clips of the game crashing and the server disconnecting play while I recite a poem that I wrote on Twitter around Christmas time. The game crashed and disconnected quite often, but my recording software would also go down with it sometimes, so I don't have a lot of those examples to show, and even if I could, it would just show the screen going black, and that wouldn't really communicate a crash all that effectively. So I'm just going to let the disconnects go, and I'm going to read this poem. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through Bethesda, every developer was working, except for the testers. The coders were typing their hands to the bone, in hopes that Todd Howard would soon let them go home, while the testers were nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of disconnected seared in their heads. Todd himself was busy flipping through internet polls. It'll all be forgotten, he thought, with the next Elder Scrolls. When out on the lawn there arose such a shout, "The devs," Todd cried, "someone might let them out." Away to the window he flew like a flash. Meanwhile, half of Fallout 76's servers just crashed. Outside were some reindeer, a man, and a sleigh. Todd opened the door and he started to say, "Around here we greet each other with our Skyrim receipt," but Santa Claus approached without a peep. In front of Todd he held up his bag and then let it drop. "Oh," said Todd, "you want 500 atoms for the online shop?" More rapid than mole rats did the developers crowd at the door. What had Santa brought them? What was in store? "Now, Todd, now, Howard," Santa whistled and shouted. "I've brought you a present," but Todd just pouted. "It's for you all," Santa said. "I made sure that I brought it. It'd be cool if I didn't think you'd get someone to mod it." The devs whispered now as their thoughts began to fly. What was the gift? What had Santa brought them, and why? "It's a new engine," Santa roared, "and there's no need to pay us. The elves and I, we just want you to make another New Vegas." "Saying that name here is banned," the devs let out a gasp. But Santa threw his head back and just laughed. "Ho ho, I'm joking, I know, the engine is for you, for Valenwood or elsewhere or whatever you do. Please, for all of us, retire your old engine and all of its quirks." "No," Todd finally spoke, "I like our engine, it just works." "It works?" Santa shook his head. "I've played 76. It has more bugs than there are names on my list." The devs were already celebrating. Oh, they were merry. They cheered and shouted while Todd was still wary. A new engine meant Christmas and Starfield were saved. Unlocked FPS, an FOV slider, what the players all craved. As Santa departed, the devs pulled in his sack. Their new engine was inside, on drives all in a stack. What would they do first? What would they fix? Could there even be time to save Elder Scrolls 6? Then Todd cleared his throat, all eyes were on him. "The first thing you'll do is port over Skyrim." He did a dance and then clapped his hands twice. "We'll release it again, and charge full price." Then Santa's bag came alive and leapt onto Howard. The devs did nothing but watch as Todd was devoured. The bag took him to a place where he was lost without power. He felt disconnected, like he had played Fallout 76 for over an hour. Yet in that same darkness he heard a rumble and a voice. Todd strained to hear as best he could, as if he had a choice. Then the darkness faded. Todd could see there was a horse. The voice was so clear now. Where was he? Oh, of course.
"Hey, you're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right?"
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Maybe I should have done it in Yusuke's voice.